speaking, Julian. It's Mort from Madagascar. Welcome to the beginning of another live Sangha. I'm grateful to be here. I just finished watching Madagascar, Escape to Africa. It's a good movie. I hope you are doing well. I trust that whatever you are going through, your feelings are completely valid, and that you have been trying your best, and that's enough. If there are any circumstances you're going through that are difficult in any way, know that this too shall pass, and you will be left with something to learn from, grow through, heal from. All of that's part of the journey, and you are right smack dab in the center of where you're meant to be. Hello, dear Raina Priyaji, and thank you for the rosa that you had sent. Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome. Hello, dear Giuliano. Inevitable. Namaskaram. Dear Dancing Aurora Borealis. Hello, Stardust Dawn and Plato. Welcome, Eve. Allow me to set the intention for this space, and thank you, Giuliano, for your likes. May we come together as fellow students of life, regardless of our background, identity, orientation, belief system, ethnicity, etc., to share positive sentiments, uplift each other, and relate in each other's experiences. Dear baby, you shared that tomorrow is your birthday. Well, if I don't see you, which makes sense, why should you be on this live stream tomorrow for your birthday? Happy birthday, and congratulations on successfully completing another trip around the sun. In that solar return, I'm sure that you have lots to reflect on, how far you've come, the challenges you've gone through, and just how much more capable you are to handle this next year ahead of you. Thank you for still being here. Dear Plato, you're wondering if we can get a free Palestine. Yeah. May all beings around the world, whether they are in Palestine or any other place of conflict, may they be free to express their identity and find their place in the world without oppression, suppression. We all have a place in this world. This is very much our birthright to be here. The only person that gets to decide that should be us. Thank you, Tattvamasi, for your quartet of roses. Om Kring Kali Kai Namah. Allow me to begin also with an invocation of a peace prayer, a Shanti mantra from the Taittiriya and Katha Upanishad. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidrisha Vahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Divine protect us both together. May the Divine nourish us both together. May our studies be vigorous and effective, and may we not mutually dispute or hate any. May there be peace in us, may there be peace in our environment, and may there be peace in the forces that act on us. Hello, dear Suye. You can tell me if I can pronounce your name in a way you prefer. Namaste, dear Jocelyn. And thank you, Giuliano, for your heart me. Radhe, oh Radhe. Dear Kyle, you started doing lunges lately for your health. It's a big step forward. Thank you for always brightening my day. Oh, Sunflower. Ari, you ask if I have a favorite color. You know, I love colors. Things that have rainbows on them just make me very happy. Just like how all of the notes on a piano come together, or any instrument, to form music. I cannot have a favorite note, because music requires all the notes. Or at least two. I love all the colors. I love saturation. I think I have a favorite. I don't have a favorite hue, but I have a favorite saturation, and that's 100%. I love neon colors. Thank you, Eira, for your heart me. Om Ganganapataye Namah. Hello, B. You love coming here. Thank you for being a part of this space. Hello, Moh. Hello, dear Neon Jello Pack. Dear Katie, Chris, you're wondering if I can pray for your lungs. You have been having problems, and my energy is always great when I pray. Oh. Well, thank you for giving me something to pray for. I would be happy to. I know that lungs are actually one of the most capable organs at healing. They have to, because of their role of taking in air from the environment and dumping out carbon dioxide. That membrane has to be very easily cleaned. Anyway, I pray that your faculty within you to breathe in oxygen and breathe out CO2 is healthy, and that your prana, your vital breath, goes wherever it needs to go in the body, energizing you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Amen. Dear Kyle, you share you have a friend who stutters, and he recently got sent to prison. You fear he may never finish a sentence. That's good. My head cap is very cozy, dear Ma. It was sent to me by one of you. It was actually made by one of you. It was made by Marcy. Crocheted by hand, one of her first crochet projects. I think I've got a string falling out. If I pull on this, the whole thing just goes, and I won't have a hat anymore. Hari Om, dear Usha Priyaji. Happy to have you here. Welcome, dear Small. You love pastel colors. Yes. Those are a good palette as well. Welcome, dear Adonis. Dear Shy, you ask, how do we deal with irrationality in the workplace? I think in the same way we deal with irrationality everywhere, which is to attend to the emotions. When someone's not being rational, it's not because they don't know how, but because our rationality department in our brain turns off when our emotional department turns on. So instead of trying to appeal to common sense, it's good to validate the other people's feelings. And once that's settled, I'm sure the rationality department will turn on again. Oh my goodness, my incense is making a lot of smoke today. It's perfectly blowing just past the camera. Today we are smelling sacred purification, which isn't very descriptive, I must admit. See if there's an ingredient list. No. No ingredients, just sacred purification. That's funny. Who knows what I could be breathing in? Smells good though. Hello dear Gwendolyn Priya, and welcome Shri Hasya Chitrakara, and thank you for wishing us all abundance, dear Neon Jello Pack, joy, and a deep connection to the divine. And hello Alyssa. Dear Millie, you ask, can I do some chants? It can be small. Speak some of my higher language. Well, it is a language that we all have access to learn, especially in this modern age. It is the language of Sanskrit. I can do one of my favorite mantras, which is for Rudra. It's quite long. It takes like 45 seconds to chant the whole thing. Om Bhairava Rudraya Maharudraya Kala Rudraya Kalpanta Rudraya Veera Rudraya Rudra Rudraya Ghora Rudraya Aghora Rudraya Martanda Rudraya Anda Rudraya Brahmanda Rudraya Chanda Rudraya Prachanda Rudraya Tanda Rudraya Shura Rudraya Veera Rudraya Bhava Rudraya Bhima Rudraya Atala Rudraya Vitala Rudraya Sutala Rudraya Mahatala Rudraya Rasatala Rudraya Talitala Rudraya Patala Rudraya Namo Namah. I think I missed one epithet of Rudra. I think I missed Chandra Rudraya, which means to Rudra, who is the moon. If you heard a Discord, now I'm breathing in the incense with my mouth. If you heard a Discord notification, that was me. I apologize. Probably from my Discord server, which you are welcome to join. Also, all of the meditations that we do, usually at the end of these sanghas, they are snipped out, they're clipped, and they're put on my Yamsox Lives YouTube channel in a playlist. So if you ever want to listen to me chanting, they're there for you. Thank you, dear Small. Yes. Incense is something that cats are very sensitive to, most animals. Especially if there's any toxic substances in them. Fortunately, my cats are out of my room. Dear Maya, you ask, how does one begin their spiritual journey? We have already begun. If you are even asking this question, you are smack dab right in the middle of your spiritual journey. No beginning necessary. Neon Jello Pack, you share, I answered your question without even reading your question. Funny how it works like that sometimes. Dear Ari, you share, you work with kids, and it's a part of human nature. You think you don't have to be everyone's friend, but know yourself. People don't always mean harm. Yeah, well said. Dear BM5x5, you ask, am I flexible? I don't think I am that flexible physically, but I try to be flexible mentally. I try to be adapting in my worldview as much as possible. I would like to be more physically flexible, however. There is one part of my body that I've trained to be flexible with. Whether I'll tell you about that or not is another question. Dearest Marcy, you share you have ginger snaps and tea as a Sangha snack. Oh, how lovely. Hello, dear Stevie G. Thank you, dear Karin, for your hand hearts. Om Som Surya Namah. Dear Adonis, you share you all need a cat reveal at some point, absolutely. I've shown Sandy and Shadow. It might be a few days until they knock on the door. I show them whenever they want to come. Every now and then you might hear a and then I'll have to go and open the door for them. Dear Eira, you ask, how many minutes of meditation do I recommend? I recommend 24/7. Become meditative in everything you do. If you think meditation is something you do for this many minutes of your day, then you're missing out, because your whole day can be a meditation. Thank you for sharing the live, dear Dancing Aurora Borealis. Dear Neon Jello Pack, thank you for your 24 roses. Om Kham Jahnavya Namah. And dear Pure Possibilities, thank you for your rose and heart me. Om Brahm Bhairvaya Namo Namah. Dear Selenite, you're here with me actually. See? Selenite. You ask, am I wearing contact lenses? No, but I feel like my background might be bringing out the blueness of my eyes. I get it from my mother, who has very beautiful eyes. Dear Lauren, you share your kitty's name is Shadow. Aw, I'm happy to share a kitty name with you. And thank you, dear Silent Alchemist, for your heartbeat. Om Som Somaya Namah. Life is a meditation. Well said, dear Lauren. Dear Millie, you share, the best rebellion today would be for us all to be living meditation. Well said. Hello, dear Linda Loves. Dear Mo, you ask, is the greatness of the divine humbling, or does one need to be humbled to receive the divine? Oh, what a beautiful question. Is the divine humbling, or do we need to be humbled to recognize the divine? I would say both, actually. Humility allows us to be receptive to grace, but that grace is a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the more grace you receive in life, the more humble you shall be, and the more grace you shall receive, therefore. No, dear Drea, our Sangi Marcy crocheted this toque for me. Hello, dear Dia. May you have a wonderful sleep, dear Josen. I'll try not to scream at the top of my lungs. And hello, dear Alec. I'm grateful for all of you here. We are just beginning our Sangha today, and as such I'd love to continue where we left off in The Journey Home, an autobiography by an American Swami. My attention will be on reading for the next few minutes, and then afterwards we'll transition to Manana, the section of our Sangha dedicated to Q&A. Hello, dear Shakira. I love the rain. Like a blank slate. We are continuing from the 5th chapter of the 2nd act of The Journey Home, I believe. Let's dive right into it, shall we? May this reading relax your mind and awaken your heart. It was about this time that I shared my realizations in a letter to my family. Dear family, better to live in poverty than to sell one's soul for an empty palace of gold. Better to live unknown than to sell one's soul for the empty and futile pleasures of admiration, name, and fame. Where there is no inner freedom, there is no life. Better to die at once than to be deprived of seeking the ideal of one's life. I have been doing what I consider to be invaluable studies with great men and places of the East. Such study, please understand, takes much time. I have barely started to even approach the beginning of such a vast study. I am selfish and egotistical. I am ignorant and blind of truth. I am perhaps the farthest away from knowing God. So it is that such a fool as me needs much time to see the blissful light of supreme truth that shines within you and me. Love, Richard. A spark of spiritual longing, ignited in my childhood, had been fanned into a flame while praying in a cathedral of Florence. It was kindled into a blaze while meditating on the Isle of Crete, and fueled higher and hotter by my challenges in the Middle East. Roaming the Himalayas in the company of holy men, that sacred fire in me now blazed furiously. Resigning my life to this purpose alone, I prayed to the Lord to help me. I was now 20 years old. My arduous lifestyle had reduced my weight to about 110 pounds. The one set of robes I wore were tainted gray by the silt of the rivers, ponds, and streams where I washed them. My skin had become coarse and toughened by the elements, my lips chapped with cracks, and my hair matted. I wore cheap rubber sandals, and my feet were dyed brown by the soil, and cracks formed around the border of my heels. This life I'd chosen was taking some toll on my health, but I showed little concern. My yearning for enlightenment now burned more brightly than ever. I loved my life as a homeless sadhu, and I rejoiced in anticipation of the next adventure, and in being in the presence of magnificent souls who were advanced in their spiritual paths. Roaming through the forest, I often asked myself, will I ever find the one path I should tread, the teacher I should follow? One day, while in Dev Prayag, I was invited to a nearby ashram for a meal among the sadhus. While there, a yogi emerged from the jungle. Nobody knew him. He advertised for the doctors of the town to assemble that evening. After several doctors arrived, the yogi made his appearance, and then, with a thunderous voice, challenged, Materially infected, you have more faith in modern science than your own heritage. God has brought me out of the forest to crush your foolish pride. By yogic power, I will shut down all of my life systems and die. You test me with your medical instruments. In exactly 30 minutes, I will rise from the dead. With his back erect, sitting in a lotus position, he inhaled and exhaled with great force about 20 times. Then, fully inhaling, he stopped breathing and sat motionless. Each doctor went to work with a stethoscope and other devices, but not one could detect a heartbeat, breath, or pulse. They were astonished. He is clinically dead, one doctor announced. Skeptical, I also stepped forward and borrowed a stethoscope to check his pulse and heartbeat, but there was none. In New Delhi, Swami Rama had given me a spellbinding preview of the powers of yoga. During my time in the Himalayas, I had practiced pranayama, or breathing exercises, and asanas, physical postures and silent meditation, to better attune my mind and body with the divine force of God. I had seen the incredible effects of these practices, with great benefits to health and the ability of practitioners to modulate their physical realities. But this scene was truly amazing. Exactly 30 minutes later, to the second, the yogi exhaled, opened his eyes, stood up, and marched back into the jungles. He didn't ask anything from anyone. He simply wanted to show these skeptics the power of yoga. Both the doctors and myself gazed in amazement at his departing from returning to the wilds. Wherever I traveled, people spoke reverentially of a woman saint named Anandamayi Ma. I myself had read of her extraordinary qualities in the classic Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, in the chapter entitled The Joy-Permeated Mother, which is indeed what Anandamayi Ma translates to in Sanskrit. On the bank of the Ganga at Dev Prayag, a sadhu informed me that she was living in the Himalayan town of Dehradun. "I'm going to bus to visit the Holy Mother today," he said. "You're welcome to join me." Upon arrival, I entered into a quaint courtyard filled with the Mother's followers. All were eager to see her. My companion disappeared. A small crowd gathered around me to share stories of their guru's life. I was told that Anandamayi Ma, who was the guru of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, was born in an obscure village in East Bengal at the dusk of the 19th century. From childhood, she was indifferent to the trappings of the world, and at times she bewildered her family by her spiritual trances. As her followers spoke to me about her ecstasies, miracles, and compassion, I became more enthralled than ever. Just then, everyone rose to their feet as a petite lady appeared in the assembly, wearing a simple white sari. Greeting us with folded palms, her eyes glistened with joy, and she sat on a chair. Thin and frail, she nonetheless emanated an unearthly power. Although the lines of time were drawn upon her wrinkled face, it shone like a playful child's. She appeared wise and sober, like a universal mother, and yet she also radiated the exuberance of an innocent little girl. Although her demeanor was as soft as the flower she held in her hand, one could feel that she possessed an indomitable willpower. Smiling upon us, she led everyone in chanting God's names, all the while clapping her hands. Then, after several moments of silence, she spoke words of love, wisdom, and selflessness. "Love is everlasting forgiveness," she began. "Wisdom is to see everything in relation to the whole. If you understand that everything belongs to Him, you will be free of all burdens." Gracefully, touching her hand to her heart, she closed her eyes. All sorrow comes from the sense of I and mine. All sorrow is due to one's keeping apart from God. When you are with Him, all pain disappears. By sorrow does the Lord dispel sorrow, and by adversity does He destroy adversity. When this is done, He sends no more suffering, no more adversity. This must be remembered at all times. My heart was deeply moved by the affectionate exchange between the mother and her children. A breeze rustled the leaves of the surrounding trees. Looking up, Anandamayi Ma paused from speaking and gazed on a chirping sparrow. With glances and smiles, everyone relished her tender mood. The world oscillates endlessly between pleasure and pain, she continued. There can be no security, no stability here. These are to be found in God alone. Suffering is sent to remind us to turn our thoughts toward God, who will give us solace. Whenever you possibly can, sustain the flow of the sacred name. To repeat His name is to be in His presence. If you associate with a supreme friend, He will reveal His true being to you. Her gentle glance awakened faith and hope, and her simple, unassuming nature brought peace to my heart. Although she considered herself no more than a child, everyone present accepted her as mother. In the time I spent with her, I saw renounced sadhus, yogis, and swamis, who typically keep a distance from women, sit at her feet seeking her blessings. One day, as I sat alone in a courtyard, Anandamayi Ma gracefully appeared. To show my reverence, I knelt down and touched her feet. Hopping backward, her face tensed with humility, she appeared embarrassed. Guilt rushed through me like a whirlwind. In her gentle presence, attempting to show my reverence and respect, I nonetheless felt that I had acted barbarically. What had I done? I understood that, though she was an exalted being, she must humbly prefer followers not to touch her feet. Taking pity on me and my mortification, she sat on a nearby chair. With a childlike smile, her eyes rolled upward into her head as her eyelids fluttered, then closed. In the silence of that moment, she entered into a trance. I felt an aura of motherly affection beaming from her motionless form. Mystically, her face shone like an angelic child. An intimate silence prevailed as she came out of her trance, smiled, and motioned for me to come closer. Her eyes sparkled with affection, yet, as I looked deeper into them, they appeared utterly blank from desires. Silently touching a lotus flower to her nose and lips, she placed it in my hand, and then, rising from her seat, departed. Enshrining this experience in my heart, I carried on with my pilgrimage. Living as a sadhu, I was coming to appreciate was a serious life. Enduring the cold winter with no warm clothes or shelter other than the bare earth of a riverbank, jungle, or cave, being vulnerable to insects and animals, both while awake and asleep, having no help in sickness, and primarily being alone, all alone. Still, I would not give it up. From Dehradun, I traveled northwest, higher into the Himalayas, to Uttar Kashi, known by many as the Valley of the Saints. Since ancient times, yogis have taken shelter of this forest for solitude and meditation. Wandering about, I discovered a cave high on a mountain. From there, I gazed down into the forest. Over the course of days, I saw a leopard intently hunting through the foliage. One day he poised for an attack and sprang on an unsuspecting deer who sunk to the ground under the grip of the leopard's jaws. There were also nomadic packs of brown and white monkeys sparring with one another, swinging from branch to branch in search of fruits and berries. Spotted deer chewed on green leaves, grass, and shrubs, while anxiously glancing from side to side in fear of predators. Birds of extraordinary colors flew about seeking buds, insects, or berries, while a king cobra slithered on the ground and up trees to devour prey, unaware that a nearby mongoose was slinking behind, poised to tear it apart. These were my neighbors, and I, a guest in their homeland. Remembering how Kailash Baba taught me to cultivate the proper attitude around such creatures, I prayed to be fearless. Everyone in all species must struggle for survival, as the strong exploit the weak. But in human life, I thought, there is something so much greater to pursue. Here in my forest dwelling, I would often take out from my bag and meditate on the picture of the blue boy who'd found me in New Delhi. I was increasingly drawn to this beautiful person playing the flute and wondering who he could be. Still, I asked no one. I felt his identity would be revealed according to God's plan. One spring day, sitting alone in the courtyard of a Himalayan temple, I listened to the stillness of the morning. Every so often I could hear the low hum of a black bee drifting from flower to flower, seeking nectar. Observing it, I realized that I had adopted a similar life, moving from place to place, seeking to collect the nectar of spiritual wisdom and inspiration, but not clear enough about my desires to choose one place, one path, one teacher. Suddenly, in the distance, a baby cried for its mother. I also felt like a baby, spiritually, though I lacked the spontaneous ability to cry so genuinely. When, I wondered, will the day come when I will cry like that baby for my beloved Lord? Later, as a Himalayan breeze whistled through the courtyard, rustling the sprouting leaves, I reflected on what it took to see the essence of life and shared my thoughts in a letter to my family. How is everything on that side of Mother Earth? I think maybe the more kind we are, the more kindness we will find everywhere, and the more good we are, the more good we will see everywhere. Richard. Suddenly, gongs resounded, and a few villagers gathered in the temple courtyard, which was nothing but a small clearing within a dense forest of huge banyan, neem, and tamarind trees, with wild animals slinking about in the crisp mountain air. The villagers worshipped a deity that stood in the form of a stone statue in a one-room brick temple. After bowing on the ground, the villagers gazed fervently at the deity while offering prayers, candles, and flowers. Due to my background with Judaism and my studies of Christianity and Islam, I felt a certain discomfort with this and did not participate. Was this idol worship? I didn't really know. Trying to restrain my judgmental tendencies, I hoped in the future to better understand. A fascinating soul came upon me that day, a wandering sadhu named Balashiva Yogi. Perhaps in his early 40s, he was a small and pudgy man. He had wavy black hair, a small nose that twitched repeatedly along with his eyebrows and twinkling eyes. He behaved like a restless juvenile. Frivolous and talkative, he told jokes and moved about in a nervous fashion. When begging for alms, he insisted on being given sweets, a trait I hadn't yet come across in a Himalayan mendicant. But when it came time for him to execute his yoga practices, he transformed into a pillar of intensity. His multifaceted personality made him charming company. Together we passed a few days of close friendship until I felt a calling to enter the higher Himalayas. When I said goodbye, Balashiva Yogi clasped my arm. "No," he said. "I insist you come to my lecture this evening. Please?" The more I declined, the more he pleaded. I finally relented. Once at the lecture hall, I looked over at a crowd of several hundred people who had gathered before a raised platform on which Balashiva Yogi stood. I sat on a chair to the left of the stage. He began the program by opening his empty hand for all to see, closed it again, went into a meditative state, and, to the crowd's astonishment, opened his hand to reveal a long black stone. It was a Shiva Lingam, a deity form of Lord Shiva. It appeared that the stone had grown right out of his hand. The crowd was transfixed. As far as I could see, this was not a magic trick, but real magic. He placed the Shiva Lingam on the podium. Then, chanting mantras, he induced ashes to materialize from his hand. These mystical ashes poured constantly from his bare palm, showering the lingam. In about a minute, the stone was buried under a hill of ashes. The audience, myself included, was spellbound. An elderly man stood and praised the yogi, while an old woman gazed at him as if he were a god. As the demonstration concluded, the crowd came forward to worship him. Moving back, I marveled at how such a simple, restless man could possess such powers. Raising his open palms, Balashiva Yogi addressed the assembly in a thundering voice. "Ladies and gentlemen, what you have just seen is called Prapti Siddhi, a yogic art. It is only viewed as supernatural if you do not understand the science. Through yogic discipline, a person can learn to manipulate the gross elements of nature by controlling the subtle elements with the mind." Tensing his eyebrows, he warned, "But do not be fooled. What you saw is not spiritual. Rather, it is a material skill attained through meditation and austerities. I am not God, nor is anyone else who performs such supernatural feats. I am just an ordinary man with some yogic powers." With both hands, he threw some of the ashes into the air and declared, "I can create ashes. God can create universes." He paused for a moment and, staring into the audience, bellowed out his final message. "True spiritual life is to know that you are beyond the body, mind, and ego, and realize the soul within, and to realize God and be godly. This alone will bring peace." As the crowd lined up to receive his blessings, Balashiva Yogi came to where I stood. "Are you happy you stayed?" he asked. Yes, thank you, I said. I had been deeply impressed by his powers, of course, but more than that, I appreciated his honesty about what was truly important. I understood that if I stayed and studied with any one of these accomplished yogis, that I too might learn to perform certain feats, but I also understood that this was not at all the goal of spiritual life. Please bless me to realize your words, I said. Laughing aloud, he embraced me like an old friend. Then he held open his hand to bless me, closed it, and opened it again to reveal a sacred Rudraksha bead, not unlike the ones I have around my neck. A raw, reddish seed covered with ashes. He placed it in my hand as the gift of his vibhuti, or blessing. As I roamed back into the forest, I thought about what I had just seen. It was incredible, but after my time in the Himalayas, not shocking. What was most incredible in what Balashiva Yogi had done is that those people were about to worship him as a god, but he stopped them. In America, athletes are worshipped for their speed and power, entertainers for their beauty and talents, scientists for their theories and inventions, politicians for their speeches and influence, scholars for their intellectual skills, and businessmen and women for their wealth. In India, yogis are worshipped for their mastery over subtle energies. Balashiva Yogi's honesty impressed me. True spirituality is to realize God and be godly, not to show off one's powers. Because they don't appreciate God's power, people are fascinated by these kinds of feats. Taking a seat under a sprawling banyan tree, I reflected on why people were so anxious to see such things. Everywhere we look, we witness the unsurpassable miracles of God. But because we see them constantly, we take them for granted. Picking up a seed, I examined it. God has put a gigantic banyan tree in this tiny seed, and each tree produces thousands more seeds. That's a miracle. And in a single cloud, so light it floats in the air, he stores enough water to flood an entire city. When a male and female come together to procreate, they have no engineering plan on how the child will develop at each stage. It just happens. What a miracle. Every species of life is empowered with amazing talents to fly, swim, run, climb trees, walk up walls, or create civilizations. Could all of this be happening by random chance? Creation is nothing but one amazing miracle after another. It was hard not to feel awed that a human could move the material world in such ways. But Balashiva Yogi had rightly challenged his spellbound audience. I can create ashes. God can create universes. Thank you for listening. We've come to the end of the 5th chapter of the 2nd act of the journey home. I am wondering if there's a picture of Balashiva Yogi. I don't think so, but I'm pretty confident there was a picture of Anandamayi Ma, if you want to see her. Yes. Here is a picture of Anandamayi Ma, the bliss-filled mother. Again, I thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to how this journey unfolds as we read together next time. that concludes our Shravana, the portion of our Sangha dedicated to listening. And now I'm here to return my attention to the comment section, and we can explore whatever is on our hearts and mind. I welcome everyone that joined while we were reading. I'm glad you liked that, dear Dia. It made you cry? Aw. Jayananda Mayama. Thank you for listening, Stevie G. Dear Talita, you share your kitty. Mitzi says hi. Well, hello. Or shall I say in a language Mitzi might be more familiar with? Thank you to those who sent a gift whilst we read. Dear Reina Priya Ji, thank you for the finger heart. Hare Krishna. Gwendolyn Priya, thank you for the woolly hat. That's right. Om Som Suryaya Namah. Ragnhildur, thank you for giving away 3 subscriptions. 1 to Eira, 1 to Edwall Scaffold, and 1 to Jen. That's very kind of you. Thank you for that. I look forward to serving them all in the capacity that they allow me to. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kalki Ji, thank you for your trio of roses also. Om Param Hanumate Namah. And Talita, thank you for your heart, me too. Radhe Radhe Tattvamasi. You ask, is she from Nepal, but later settled somewhere in South India, always near the beach with birds? Are you referring to Anandamayi Ma? It's a good question. I'm not sure. I am sure that you can find her within every bird, within every forest, within every beach, as a universal mother. That's beautiful, dear Stevie G. I like that you closed your eyes as you listened to it, and it was meditative for you. Everything can be a meditation. Hello, dear Shelly Belly. And thank you, Rafi, for your pair of roses. Om Vasudevaya Namah. Dear Jack, you ask, how do you fix a relationship with someone you've upset so badly they won't talk to you? Is it worth the effort? And how can you think about this reasonably? You suppose is the real question. If they won't talk to you, then that's a boundary they've set. The best thing you can do is respect that boundary. Unfortunately, I think movies teach us that with a silent treatment, that a grand gesture can break the silence. In my own experience, more often than not, I found that usually just crosses the boundary and just adds another thing that they have to heal from. So, it's not something I would recommend. I would, however, recommend respecting that space. And you'd be surprised how, after respecting that space, they might, in fact, open up again. That's, of course, their choice. I can't speak on behalf of them. What you can do is honor that relationship by letting go, by healing from your own wounds. Understand that if you truly had love for this person, then that love includes the distance that they choose to keep from you. True love is unconditional, and therefore there need no be a condition of closeness, physical proximity, or them being open in your life in any way to love them from a distance. And love yourself. Usually what we go through with others is often a reflection of something that we've already been going through with ourselves. It's just been externalized for us to now be made aware of. So if you feel like another person has shut off from you, maybe ask, is there a part of yourself that you have shut off from? And connect with that part of you. Self-love, healing, that is always worth the effort. Dear Anne, you ask, can your thoughts create action? The actions that our body performs are an expression of our thoughts, the thoughts we choose to express. If you are thinking, I need to go to the bathroom, and your body stands up and goes to the bathroom, is it a surprise? Why did my body stand up and go to the bathroom? It's because you were thinking about how you needed to go to the bathroom. Whatever the actions the body performs, it is an expression of some thought in your mind. Thoughts are the seed of action. Indeed. That sounds right, dear Tattwamasi. I think in our reading it was mentioned that Anandamayi Ma was born in Bangladesh. Dear Karin, you ask, if we have all the love we need in ourselves, why do we still want the love of others? That is an excellent question. Simply put, because we don't realize that we do have all the love we need in ourselves. Someone could tell you of this. You have all the love you need. We might intellectually understand that that's a truth we have to realize. But until that realization occurs at a practical level, we will still have a necessity to be loved. There is a purpose to that also. Since you are not the body and the mind, it's actually not you in which this need to be loved comes from. Your body and mind has a need to be loved. And that's true no matter what. Even if you realize that you are love itself, there will still be a receptivity to love from others in your body and mind. The truth is, we can never love another. It's actually a paradox to say that I love you, because I am love. You are love. There cannot be anything added to the love that you are or that I am. What we do, however, is provide a body and a mind to receive love. Here is a body and a mind for you to love. I am love itself, but here is this body, here is this mind. You are love itself, and here is your body, your mind. Us, as love itself, give love to each other's bodies and minds. Thank you, dear Andy, for your rose. Dom Yogaya Namaha. Dear Jack, you ask, how can you work toward the clarity of comprehension I seem to have achieved? Thank you. Don't let me fool you. I've got lots to learn and be clear about. But I appreciate that. I suppose one thing that I have learned is that whenever I feel challenged, I always ask myself, how can I adapt in my mind, in my worldview, to accommodate the world, rather than feel like, how can the world change to accommodate my worldview? I always assume that the world is out of my control, but my mind, my worldview is within my control. So when there's something that challenges me, something new coming into contact with my worldview, instead of trying to change that thing so that it fits into my worldview, how can I change my worldview so that it fits into the thing? How can I become more inclusive, more accommodating? I assume that the world has enough room for me, that if something doesn't fit, it's probably not true, but actually it's because I have not been accommodating to fit in this world. Dear Rafi, you ask, what do I think about the mysteries of eyes? Is our infinite self looking at us? Eyes are beautiful, aren't they? They say that eyes are the doorway to the soul. I love that. I think you can look deeply within another person's eyes and feel a sense of being looking back at you, which is no different than the sense of being that you feel within you. I just heard my sister scream. It's probably because a cat was asking for food, not realizing that she is not made of fur. I recognize that when the cats are climbing up your leg. Please! One thing I love about the eye that I think we often forget, but we know deep down, is that the pupil is an absence. You have an iris that's like the window frame, but there's nothing on the surface of the eye that looks black. What you're looking at is the inside of an eye. So you see the darkness, the space, which is receptive to that light. And I think that's deeply beautiful and symbolic. Hello, dear Riri. Shrihasya Chitrakara, you ask, what did I dream of? Last night? Actually, last night I dreamt that I was dancing on water, that there was a bay, and I wasn't just walking on water, I was dancing on water. Kind of like there's that TikTok trend of people who they take their steps in such a way that it looks like they're floating. I was taking these long strides into the water, and my heel was pushing against the ocean, and waves were splashing up, and it was very fun. very freeing. Indeed, dear Zoe. Thank you, Rafi, for another rose. Dear Stevie G, you share, even though you had a whole talk on boundaries, we did, you still disagree with some parts. How can I help you find the truth in those parts then? I believe that in our Sangha, there are no disagreements. There's only an opportunity to see the truth in the other's perspective. And there's nothing that I disagree about in another's perspectives. I am only faced with the opportunities to see the truth in them also. Dear Jura, you ask, was there any music with that dance on the water? No, interestingly, there was not. It was just giggles. I was laughing. Dear Jack, you ask, have I ever thought about writing a book on my personal journey and learning? Do you read it? Oh, that's very kind of you, Jack. I don't read many books myself, so I'm afraid I'll have to trust you when it comes to the value in them. Many of the things that I've learned in life have not come from books. So it would be weird to put the teachings that I've experienced into a format that I didn't receive them in. And I'm still very young, and I have so much of my life yet to live. I'd wonder how hasty it would be to write a book on my life at only 23 years old. I think I'd need to have a few more decades under my belt. But I appreciate that you'd have an interest in reading from that. I can offer you the next best thing, which is the author. If you want to pick my brain, I'm here. That's the purpose of these live streams, in part. Not because I have anything in particular to share, but I'm delighted to engage with you directly. Thank you, Usha Priyaji, for your beautiful hanging lights. Om Namah Parashaktaye. Dear Lauren, you share that you had a dream that you willingly entered the mouth of a whale to take you underwater. Does that mean anything to me? Isn't that the story of the hero's journey? Isn't it Jonas in the Bible, when he gets swallowed, has to live in the belly of the whale? It represents crossing the threshold in the hero's journey, where there's no way back now. Is that you have been separated from your ordinary world. You are now embarking on a journey in which the only direction is forward. That's what it symbolizes in the hero's journey. It's a good thing. Dear Aaron, you ask, how does one tell what choices are right with so many options, all with unique consequences? I'll tell you the secret. make peace with the consequences beforehand, then it doesn't matter what you choose. Simply don't choose the options where you can't make peace with the possible outcomes. And whatever you do, make peace with what may come. Practically, this means that you don't worry about the difference between right and wrong. I know it sounds dangerous to say, but there's a very practical point here, which is that life is not a binary of right versus wrong. Maybe we've been trained to believe that in school, where you have a multiple choice question, and only one of those is the correct answer. And that if you choose anything other than the right answers, that you'll fail the test. But everyday life genuinely does not work like that. In everyday life, you have an infinite selection of options, not as a test, but to give you creative liberty. The universe says, hey, what do you want to do? You have a choice here, not because there's some burden for you to do the right thing and avoid making the wrong decision, but so that you have free will, that you have a conscious choice to make of this life what you want. And whatever comes, you have to trust in yourself that you'll be able to man the course, steer the way to a direction that you want it to go. In other words, it's not about making the right decision, it's about making the decision right. I'm happy that resonated with you. And that you're allowed to make mistakes. Dear Tattvamasi, you share, if there's willingness when something is supposed to be scary, it usually is symbolic. I like that. Very powerful. Voluntary submission to trust in your higher self. Dear Stevie G, you ask, should you be careful with being an open book? You notice so many people hide things, but you don't. I think that's beautiful. I try to be an open book also. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to dive into them. But for other people's privacy, if other people are not open books, and I share an experience with them, then their privacy supersedes my lack of privacy. Even though I don't care how much you know about me, if another person cares how much you know about them, then I try to care myself about guarding their experiences through me also. Dear Dejvue, you ask, how do you cope with seeing your ex with their new love? You try to be happy for her, but you are so sad. You can do both. You can be happy for her and be sad for yourself. Your happiness and your sadness doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. I think that's another thing we're often trained to believe, is that a person is just one feeling, that either they are happy or something else. Ever since we were babies, teacher points to a smiley face. Is this person happy or sad? Happy. Points to a sad face. Is this person happy or sad? Sad. But you can be happy and sad, and have a sad face or a happy face or any other face. Emotions are so much more fluid than that. You can be happy for the fact that she is happy, and you can allow yourself to grieve for the attachments that you formed naturally and understandably. I pray for your heart. Riri, you ask, how does Shaktipat work? It's a good question. I forgot what a Shaktipat is. I know Shakti, but Shaktipat, this is someone with spiritual abilities or something. Shaktipat refers to transmission or conferring of spiritual energy upon one person by another, or directly from the deity. Shaktipata can be transmitted with a sacred word or mantra, or by a look, thought, or touch. Last usually to the Ajna Chakra, the third eye. Shaktipata is considered an act of grace, anugraha, on the part of the Guru or the Divine. It cannot be imposed by force, nor can a receiver make it happen. The very consciousness of the God or Guru is held to enter into the self of the disciple, constituting an initiation into the school or the spiritual family, kula, of the Guru. It is held that Shaktipata can be transmitted in person or at a distance through an object such as a flower or fruit. I understand. How does that happen? It happens because the Guru is one who has realized that the person before them that calls themselves a student is actually just themselves. The Guru is playing the role of another person, but secretly is the innermost being of the student. So transference is a misnomer, as that implies crossing some distance. If the self in the student and the teacher are one, is it really so much of a mystery? Consider your mother. This body has been made from her. In that sense, you are your mother. You are her heart of heart. Her heart, your heartbeat was formed from hers. So is there any surprise that your mother seems to have this extraneous knowledge of what you're up to? You might call it a supernatural ability, a siddhi. Or you can call it just being one of the same being. Thank you, dear John Simon, for your heart me and DGIF. I always like these DGIFs, especially as they come from the future, as I am still in Thursday. Aren't I? Yes. Ilmaya Shaktai Namah. Dear Cece, you share that you all woke up in Snow Wonderland in Germany. Oh, how lovely. Ah. And hello, blank cover plates. Hello, Talkington. Hello, Ariel. Well, you're welcome to share, dear Laura. Dear Stevie G, you share, you kind of internally promised yourself to always be honest, because you dislike lies. And that is the second yama of yama yoga. Satya, truthfulness, authenticity, vulnerability, transparency. Dear Cece, you share, you do not come from your mother, you come through her, and you are not your mother, you are you. I see the truth in your perspective, dear Cece. And that's an important perspective to hold, especially if one may have trauma from their biological mother. When it comes to consciousness, yes, at the level of consciousness, consciousness merely embodies the physical as given by the mother. At the level of the body, however, which is a very real part of our experience, even if we understand that as spiritual beings, our consciousness is something transcendental to the body, we are absolutely part of Mother Nature, and we have to owe her a great deal of respect for providing this body. And remember that even if one's biological mother wasn't particularly motherly, that doesn't mean that there isn't a motherly force in your life. Even if there is a being that calls themselves your mother, even if they have physically provided your body, if they are not being motherly, then something else in your life deserves the title of mother. We all have that mother which shapes us, forms us, even if it comes differently than a biological parent. Dear Hybrid 10, you share, how can you not get nervous or OCD when homeless men with with pants half on approach you? Well, they won't be able to catch you. Without their pants all the way up, you should have no fear about being able to run away from them. They're going to trip and fall within the first few steps and Dear Kali, you ask, what's my favorite Pokemon? I don't know if I have a favorite Pokemon, but when I played Pokemon Fire Red on my Game Boy Advanced, I would always choose Charizard first. Thank you, Gina, for your roses. Thank you, Dancing Aurora Borealis, for your swan too. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dear Emily, you ask, what's my favorite Yoga Sutra of Patanjali? My favorite Yoga Sutra of Patanjali? I don't know. Let's crack open a random Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. From the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali. Boop. This is the second part of some clause, so I have to go back one verse to make it make sense. Om Murdhu Madhya Adhimatratva Tatopi Visheshaha. Because this vehemence can be modest, medium, or excessive, there is hence also a difference in the proximity of the yogins to the superior ecstasy. What is an ecstasy? We'll have to look it up. Ishvara pranidhanadva. Or ecstasy is gained through devotion of the Lord. That is Patanjali describing the fifth niyama of the second limb of yoga, niyama yoga. I've never heard this English word before. Ecstasy. It doesn't appear to be an English word, or does it? A state of consciousness that involves being centered in oneself and alertly aware of one's own identity. It is the opposite of ecstasy, which comes from the Greek word ekstasis, meaning standing outside of oneself. Beautiful. So, there are various levels to ecstasy, to being centered in oneself. And it can be attained, the higher levels, through devotion to the Lord. I would translate Ishvara Pranidhanad a little differently. Ishvara does mean Lord. Specifically, the simultaneity of the material cause and intelligence of the whole universe. In other words, the way in which we spiritually say the universe as a being. Pranidhana, I wouldn't translate to devotion, although I see where they're coming from. I would translate that as trust. Having trust in the universe. Ishvara Pranidhana. That's a good one. Connection with the divine. I like that too, Emily. Hello, dear Mina. Dear Lauren, you ask, have I been looking for a new day job or some kind of work opportunity? No, I have not. I am curious where this question arises from. All of my needs are covered at this moment, which I'm very grateful for, and have been for quite some time. Thank you for your head pats, dear Kali. Look at this new little guy. I'm happy that you found the video on the bench. Very cool. Dear Mirna, you ask, do I miss my beard and mustache? No. I'm very grateful to have deepened my non-attachment to such things. I don't really mind. There's a benefit in having it. There's a benefit in having a clean face. If I just focus on the benefit, then I do not need to grieve the transition. Pardon me. Good morning, dear Dam or Glans. I learned something very sad about the word morning recently. Etymologically, if we take the root mourn in mourning, it ultimately comes from the Sanskrit verbal root mur, which means to die. How it has turned into a positive greeting, I'm not sure. But etymologically, we're saying good dying to you every morning. Someone made the recommendation of saying grand rising. I think probably has better etymology, but we should double check now, shouldn't we? Of course, it's the intention that matters most. Thank you, Reina Priyaji, for your Yahoo! Dear Tattwamasi, you ask, why does calm, rhythmic breath calm the mind and vice versa? It gives some stability. Stability in the form of consistency. But also that's the psychological aspect. The physiological aspect is that if you breathe too quickly, on one hand you might be getting too much oxygen, which can make your body tense up and activate your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response. Because you would only need that much oxygen if you really needed to expend energy with your muscles, and that's usually to fight or flight. But yeah, psychologically, it's that cycle that you know is safe. It's consistent. It's something that you can rest in. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. There's nothing chaotic about it. It'd probably be easier to explain why erratic breathing yields an absence of calm and peace. And that's due to the fact that it feels out of our control, chaotic, that there's nothing to feel safe in about, given that it's changing seemingly according to no rhyme or reason. You can extend that analogy to routines in life. Having nice routines make a person feel safe. That there is cosmic order. Rita is the word. In a single word, Rita. It's cosmic order. I can inhale and expect an exhale afterwards. I can exhale and expect an inhale afterwards. It's a safe assumption, generally. Dear Stevie G, you ask, have I ever, in this life as a human, manifested something I really wanted? I don't bring my attention much to the concept of manifestation because I trust that the universe already gives me everything that I need. And yes, I found that all my wants thus far have been satisfied, and I feel very blessed for that. And I feel like I don't even deserve it at times. I'm very grateful for the universe. Grand shining. That's great, Miyananda. But don't worry, dear Dhamma Glans. It's all about the intention. If I could say the most horrific words to you in another language, but if I didn't know what they meant and I said them lovingly, I'm sure you wouldn't be offended either. Hello, dear Dale. Yes, we'll meditate soon, dear Sky Guardian. We'll have to do so because our meditation is very long tonight. That's funny, dancing Aurora Borealis. You share that good morning in Icelandic sounds like go dying. Góðan daginn. Dear Not Sure, you share, if you had only one question to ask me, you would ask me how to get rid of loneliness. Well, you're welcome to ask more than one question. I would say it's that idea itself of getting rid of something which makes you feel alone. If there's anything to get rid of, it's the feeling that there's anything to get rid of, paradoxically. That if you allow yourself to abide in the comfort of your own presence, then you'll begin to genuinely enjoy your own company. It's that assumption that something's missing. What if nothing's missing? What if someone said at some point that you need this to be happy, and the mind caught hold of that and it got stuck? Can you wiggle your way and notice how in this moment, everything you need is already here? You got breath in your lungs, you got blood in your veins, you got inspiration to do good in this world. That's all you need. You are not separate from anything that you need. And when the time is right for the people to come into your life that connect deeply with you, they will come. But probably only after you connect deeply with yourself, so you don't feel alone in your own company. Thank you, dear Brenda, for your heart me. Om Ang Saraswatyai Namah. I love the way you put that, Stevie G. You once worried so much about the words you used, but your intention is beyond the origin of a word. I'm sorry to hear about your panic attack, dear Hybrid Gem. Hello, Dale. Stevie G, you believe and now see your breath as the greatest mantra there can ever be. Soham. Soham. Lauren, you share, you asked because the other day I appeared like I came from a job interview. And from what you recall, my workhouses were being activated. Oh. When I was wearing a tie and a dress shirt, that was for you. Not you specifically, Lauren, but for you as part of the Sangha. My life is centered around all of you. This is true. If I look like I'm dressed up for a particular occasion, it's because I dressed up for you. Sorry I didn't dress up today. Today's a comfy, cozy day. I had to run to the post office because I was sending a mala to one of you. And I needed some warm clothing because it's cold out. Dear someone whose name you'd have to teach me how to pronounce. Achaven. You ask, is there a name for a good daily practice of finding the day's energy flow like a checklist? What a very specific question. A name for a good daily practice of finding the day's energy flow like a checklist. You want to title such a practice with a nice, catchy name. Something like Finding the Wave. Maybe you can borrow some surfer lingo that I'm unaware of. What do surfers call it when they're trying to find that flow, that wave? Every day I begin by finding the wave. Getting on the surfboard. Something like that, maybe. I'd be happy to workshop it. Thank you, dear Hybrid Jen, for your trio of tiny dongles. Yahoo! Dear Jack, you really like the greeting, good now. It implies that now is a good time to be. I love that. Good now to you. I'm very happy to hear of the psychiatry appointment, dear Stevie G. Taking care of your mind is so important. Dear Carol, you ask, how do I view injustice or wrongdoing? How can it be an illusion as Maya would have it? The word Maya actually does not translate to illusion, as a recent trend has seemed to make it out to be. Maya comes from a similar etymology as does mother. Mata, Maya, they both have the root ma, which means mother. What you see before you as the material world is the maternal world. This is the divine feminine. She is always in flux. She is always changing. So there's nothing illusory about the things that take place. Where the idea of illusoriness comes in is when we believe that we need to get something from material existence, in order to be happy. That's when we misunderstand our role with Maya. When we understand that Maya, Maya gives us the opportunity to be challenged, to bring out our love, our happiness, our peace, then we can have a healthy relationship with it. In my vocabulary, I often choose different words or saying things in a way that avoids injustice or wrongdoing. Instead, I try to seek what my role is. What is my role? Is my role to be the punisher of anyone? Is my role to hold anyone else accountable for their actions? My role is only to be accountable for my own actions. What does that mean? It means if there's someone that I need to take care of, that I take care of them. That if another person is hurt by a third party, that my mind's not even thinking about the third party. My mind is thinking about how can I help this person heal? How can I take them into a safe space? The third party doesn't even exist for me. If someone has hurt you, they're no longer part of my world. Now my world should be built around how can I take care of you? How can I give you the space to heal? Things like that. And give space to whoever that third party is. Send them off on their journey. Hand them off to the universe to deal with. My duty is to uplift the disheveled, the hurt, the displaced, the traumatized. My role is not to punish those who caused that hurt. They have punished themselves by disrespecting their own role of providing love to this world. That's their healing journey, and I wish them well. But if that person needed me to set boundaries for them, to communicate for them, I'd be happy to do that too. But that's up to the person who needs my help. I think we can have a Valentine Sangha tomorrow. Sharihasya Chitrakara. Sounds like you were experiencing prana, dear Georgia. Hello, dear Michelle. So, I have a segment that I'd love to transition to. Allow me to introduce you to another episode of Ruminations, where we listen to some poetry by the Sufi mystic Rumi. And then I'll have a question of the day, and then we'll have a nice long meditation. In the Pocket Rumi, we are in the Mathnawi section. Let's read 3 poems. The first one is medium. The second 2 are very short. The first one's called Companionship with the Holy. Don't take a wooden sword into battle. Go, find one of steel, then march forward with joy. The saint's protection is truth's sword. Your time with them is worth as much as the cup of life itself. All the wise have said the same. The one who knows God is God's mercy to his creatures. Companionship with the holy makes you one of them. Though you're rock or marble, you'll become a jewel when you reach the man of heart. Plant the love of the holy ones within your spirit. Don't give your love to anything but the love of those whose hearts are glad. Don't go to the neighborhood of despair. There is hope. Don't go in the direction of darkness. Suns exist. That's companionship with the holy. Now, 2 short ones. Oh, I like these ones. Rumi the Romantic, this poem's called The Tongue. O tongue, you are an endless treasure. O tongue, you are also an endless disease. Just 2 lines. That's called The Tongue. And this last poem is called I Am Burning. I am burning. If anyone lacks tinder, let them set their rubbish ablaze with my fire. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of Ruminations. Let me go back to Manana now. Thank you, dear Raina Priyaji, for your 6 crystal roses. Om Arlam Ashwini Bhyam Namah. I hope you like those poems. Those are fun. I like that. And thank you, dear JJ, for your quintet of roses. Om Harim Namah Shivaya. Dear Lauren, you asked, did I say Ashwini? I did say Ashwini. I said Ashwini Bhyam, which means to the 2 Ashwini, the divine horses, which are physicians also. That is their secret bija mantra for healing various diseases. Om Arlam Ashwini Bhyam Namah. To pronounce their bijas, you have to master the vocalic L, which is like a rolled L. If you are familiar with rolling your R's, then you can practice rolling closer and closer to your teeth, and then they become a rolled L. And there's 2 bijas because there's 2 Ashwini. One's a short L, one's a long L. Om Arlam Ashwini Bhyam Namah. I have a question of the day for you all. But Stevie G, you first asked, will we be doing sub-mantras for the 3rd eye and crown chakras later this week? There are no sub-mantras for the crown chakra. Crown chakra is just Om, and it has infinite petals. And actually, I shouldn't say they don't have any sub-mantras. Every mantra is a sub-mantra of the crown. So take an infinite amount of time to do the sub-mantras for the crown. But we recently did already the sub-mantras for the Ajna chakra, the 3rd eye, which are Ham and Ksham, I believe. In fact, it's on the cover of The Hidden Power in Humans. You can see the main mantra, Om, and the sub-mantra, Ham, and the other sub-mantra, Ksham. The recording of which is on the Yamsox Live's YouTube channel. On Sunday, however, we will be doing the sub-mantras for the root chakra. I think that's the only one we have left to do, because, well, the crown is just Om, and we've done Om before. We've done the 3rd eye. Yesterday we did the heart, and we've done all of the sub-mantras for the throat chakra 2 times now before. And on Tuesday we did the solar plexus, and on Monday we did the sacral chakra. So it's just the root we have left to do on Sunday for posterity. But yes, I have a question of the day. Today my question is, what invites miracles? Thank you, Tan Hao Yu, for the heart beam that you sent to Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. And Tom Terrific, thank you for your subscription to Om Kali Maha Kali Kalke Parameshwari Sarvanandakari Devi Narayani Namostute. Some answers to our question of the day. Dear Cece, you share offerings. I like that. Give offerings to the divine. And they don't have to be goat sacrifices. In case anyone needs to hear that. Offer your love. Offer your gratitude. Praying shares hybrid Jen. You've witnessed. Trust shares Tattvamasi. I like that. Yeah. Patience. This is one of those days where we're going to have a lot of very excellent one-word answers, I think. Patience shares Reina Priyaji. And you share pure thoughts and holy thinking. I like that. Holy thinking. Accepting them. Oh, I like that, JJ. So simple. Just accept them. All that's waiting is for our acceptance. Faith, hope, shares Lauren. Gratitude, shares Katie. Gratitude adds Melinda too. Faith and hope adds dancing, Aurora Borealis. And Stevie G, you share nothing. Miracles are everywhere. Just the fact that there is form from the formless is a miracle. Sadhu. Georgia, you share loving and putting others before self. I see the truth in that. Breathing, shares Riri. Just breathing. I love that answer. Azura, you share in your experience unwavering faith in God's love. It's beautiful. Stevie G, you share breathing and the activity of every cell in our body is a miracle. Well said. Dear Jack, you share meeting the miracle halfway. Put in your end of the work to make it possible. That is an excellent practical advice. And Katie, you share opening your eyes to what's already in front of you. Nice. Imagination, shares Hybrid Jen. 100%. Yeah. It takes an imaginative mind to see miracles. That is for sure. Marcy, you share belief and permittance. Permittance is such a beautiful word. Permittance. I permiss. Dear Lauren, you share, you just found out how to like this live. Permittance. I permiss. Dear Lauren, you share, you just found out how to like this live. If my internet connection has returned, please let me know, as I think it cut out for a second. I'm back. Okay. Thank you. Michelle, you share love. Shishi. Cece, you share presence. And Jocelyn, you share a blank slate. Our only purpose is to receive. Beautiful. Tattvamasi, you share a beginner's mind, acknowledging unknowns and be open. That's some nice practical advice right there too. Dalita, thank you for your TJF, for sharing your gratitude for the day that you have found yourself in. Hari Om Tat Sat. I have resprouted. You're funny, Jack. Tom Terrific, you share that the universe has reconnected me to the interwebs. Thank you. It may be so, dear Sky Guardian. I have to admit that I've been spending a lot of money on all of you recently. Well, some of you. So I might have to save some money to buy a router. Hybrid Jen, you share a whole bunch of faith too. Prayer, imagination, hope. And Usha Priyaji, you share just observing. And Anna, you share personally simplicity. I like that. Don't complicate your life. And Garrett, you share you don't believe there are miracles more than life itself. And that's beautiful. And gratitude, adds Michelle. Hello, Gabe. You were coding and watching me? Oh. Well, if you ever need to rubber duck decode, I'm here. But make sure you have a semicolon on line 10. And make sure you have a clause to break out of that while loop. Thank you, Gabe, for your quintet of finger hearts. Om Bharam Bhairvaya Namo Namah. You're currently struggling with SVGs. Resizing is harder than love. Harder than love. Love is the easiest thing. Yes. Yeah, I'm sure there are some libraries that can help you with that. Vector graphics. They are a whole different box of frogs than just bitmaps. Do I ever plan on visiting Brazil? I have not had any plans in the works, but I would love to. And to your invitation, I say, obrigado. Thank you, everyone, for exploring our question of the day. We will pause it there for now. I think you all have spoken for me. Everything that I could have added, you have said. I was going to say gratitude. Gratitude, I think, to me is the biggest thing that invites miracles. Good now, dear cat. Grand rising. Thank you, Gabe. Riri, you share, you watched the whole Catterday stream today with a friend, and it feels weird being back in the live again. Aw. It's a whole different feeling being live, isn't it? Yeah. Anna says, get in line. To the invitations from Brazil. I do have a lot of love from Brazil in these live streams. It's one of the biggest demographics aside from the standard United States and my own country of Canada and United Kingdom. I don't know what it is. I think Something about past lives. I must have a lot of karmas with Brazil. Dear Gabe, you ask for any suggestions on books to improve your relationship with your mom. You love her but can't show it. Maybe a children's book. What you are to your mom is her child. So if you can become associated with your own childhood, your inner self, again, in a deep and vulnerable way, I am sure that love will pour effortlessly from you. Thank you, Maria. Skypolis, you ask, am I inviting the bell with full consciousness? What a beautiful question. I invite you, bell, with full consciousness. Now, I'd love to transition to our final segment of our Sangha, in which we'll be doing a most delectable meditation, this time not hosted by me, but by a guru in spirit of the Sangha, a guru of one of our Sangis, Sky Guardian. That's Pujya Swami Tadatmanandaji Saraswati. Thank you, Hypergen, for your heartbeat. Om Bharam Hanumate Namaha. That's my sound effects. Tom Terrific, you share today you are celebrating 42 days of leaving the bottle behind and reconnecting with your true choice. That is amazing. I am amazed by you, dear Tom Terrific. Thank you for sharing that. The number of days it takes to understand the answers to life, the universe, and everything. I know that by the time we're done this meditation, my phone will have had its alarm turn on, so I'm going to preemptively turn my alarm off before we go deeper into the meditation. Thank you for your momentary patience. There. Now we can be free of such possible disturbance. Hello, dear Roxanne. Thank you, Katie, for your tiny and Majesty. Thank you for your heart, ma'am. Om Bhuram Bhuvaswa Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Myrna's wondering if I stream from my bedroom. Yes, I do stream from my bedroom. It's nice and personal that way. So let me set up our meditation. It's a very small text. I don't know if you can read that. I'm going to turn down our background music so we can focus our full attention on the music from our meditation. So with complete discretion, This is a 50-minute meditation, so it's pretty long. If you're used to meditating that long, no problem. You can also choose to meditate as long as you want. But it is not the same thing for that 50 minutes. It is very diverse. So you'll definitely have your mind filled with new experiences as it goes on. I think it'll be really good if you really want to deepen your practice of meditation, get to the next level, so to speak. It comes from Swami Taratmananda, who is a very talented guru of an Advaita Vedanta lineage, stemming all the way back to Adi Shankaracharya. And he is going to do some shlokas, I believe, and other kinds of meditations over the next 50 minutes. Allow me to bring the video up. It's on his YouTube channel, the Arsha Bodha Center, and this is the exact title of the video in case you're interested. Without further ado, we shall begin.
We'll be chanting some sutras and some mantras in a very soft, meditative way. And there'll be times to also to just close your eyes and meditate with several mantras. Repeat after me. Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavignopa Shantaye 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 Sarvavignopa Together now. Ganganapataye Namaho. Ganganapataye Namaho. Ganganapataye Namaho. Namaho. Ganganapataye Namaho. Ganganapataye Namaho. Ganganapataye Namaho. Ganganapataye Namaho. Ganganapataye Namaho. Repeat after me. Madhuram madhurebhyopi Madhuram madhurebhyopi Mangalebhyopi mangalam Mangalebhyopi mangalam Pavanam pavanebhyopi, Pavanam pavanebhyopi, Hare Namayva Kevalam, Hare Namayva Kevalam. Sweeter than the sweetest sweet, sweeter than the sweetest sweet, holier than the holiest, holier than the holiest, pure than purity itself, purer than purity itself, that is God's name alone, that is God's name alone. Abrahmastamba Paryantam, Abrahmastamba Paryantam, Sarvam Maya Mayam Jagata, Sarvam Maya Mayam Jagata, Satyam Satyam Punah Satyam, Satyam Satyam Punah Satyam, Hare Namayva Kevalam, Hare Namayva Kevalam. From Brahmaji to a clump of grass, from Brahmaji to a clump of grass, all the world is just a dream. All the world is just a dream. But what is real and what is true? But what is real and what is true? That is God's name alone. That is God's name alone. Saguru Sapita Chapi, Saguru Sapita Chapi, Samata Bandhavopiyaha, Samata Bandhavopiyaha, Shikshayet Chik Sadha Smartum, Shikshayet Chik Sadha Smartum, Hare Namayva Kevalam, Hare Namayva Kevalam. If you're taught by a holy sage, if you're taught by a holy sage, or your father, your mother or friend, or your father, your mother or friend, you will always this recall. You will always this recall. That is God's name alone. That is God's name alone. Nishwase nahi vishwasaha, Nishwase nahi vishwasaha, Kadarudho bhavishyati, Kadarudho Bhavishyati Kirtaniyam Ato Bhayat Kirtaniyam Ato Bhayat Hare Namaiva Kevalam Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Nothing in life is guaranteed. Nothing in life is guaranteed. Your last breath, when will you breathe? Your last breath, when will you breathe? So worship God from childhood on. So worship God from childhood on. That is God's name alone. That is God's name alone. Hare sada vaset tatra. Hare sada vaset tatra. Yatra bhagavata janaha. Yatra bhagavata janaha. Gayanti bhakti bhavena. Gayanti bhakti bhavena. Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Aho dukkam mahadukkam. Aho dukkam mahadukkam. Dukkat dukkataram yataha. Dukkat dukkataram yataha. Kachartam vismritam ratnam. Kachartam vismritam ratnam. Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Hare Namaiva Kevalam. O great sorrow, O great pain, O great sorrow, O great pain. The greatest loss is neglecting God. The greatest loss is neglecting God. For a chip of glass overlooking a gem. For a chip of glass overlooking a gem. That is God's name alone. That is God's name alone. Diyatam, diyatam karnaha. Diyatam, diyatam karnaha. Niyatam, niyatam vachaha. Niyatam, niyatam vachaha. Giyatam, giyatam nityam. Giyatam, giyatam nityam. Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Lend your ears to hear. Lend your ears to hear. Lead your voice to say. lead your voice to say, sing, sing always in praise of the Lord. Sing, sing always in praise of the Lord. That is God's name alone. That is God's name alone. Trinikritya Jagat Sarvam. Trinikritya Jagat Sarvam. Rajate Sakalopari. Rajate Sakalopari. Chidananda Mayam Shuddham. Chidananda Mayam Shuddham. Hare Namayva Kevalam. Hare Namayva Kevalam. Surpassing this universe so vast, surpassing this universe so vast, brightly shining on every part, brightly shining on every part, fullness, bliss, and consciousness pure, fullness, bliss, and consciousness pure. That is God's name alone. That is God's name alone. Hare Namayva Kevalam. Hare Namayva Kevalam. Hare Namayva Kevalam. Hare Namayva Kevalam. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 You can close your eyes and we'll chant together. Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 Sarvesham bhavatu shanti, Sarvesham bhavatu shanti, Sarvesham bhavatu swasti, Sarvesham bhavatu swasti, Sarvesham bhavatu bhagyam, Sarvesham bhavatu bhagyam, Sarvesham bhavatu bhadram, Sarvesham bhavatu bhadram, Sarvesham bhavatu vidya, Sarvesham bhavatu vidya, Sarvesham bhavatu shraddha, Sarvesham bhavatu shraddha, Sarvesham bhavatu jnanam, Sarvesham bhavatu jnanam, Sarvesham bhavatu satyam, Sarvesham bhavatu satyam, Sarvesham bhavatu viryam, Sarvesham bhavatu viryam, Sarvesham bhavatu sattvam, Sarvesham bhavatu sattvam, Sarvesham bhavatu kshanti, Sarvesham bhavatu kshanti, Sarvesham bhavatu shuddhi, Sarvesham bhavatu shuddhi, Sarvesham bhavatu shakti, Sarvesham Bhavatu Shakti Sarvesham, Bhavatu Jyoti Sarvesham, Bhavatu Jyoti Sarvesham, Bhavatu Tejas Sarvesham, Bhavatu Tejas Sarvesham, Bhavatu Shreyas Sarvesham, Bhavatu Shreyas Sarvesham, Bhavatu Vriddhi Sarvesham, Bhavatu Vriddhi Sarvesham, Bhavatu Siddhi Sarvesham, Bhavatu Siddhi Sarvesham, Bhavatu Buddhi Sarvesham, Bhavatu Buddhi Sarvesham, Bhavatu Bhakti Sarvesham, Bhavatu Bhakti Sarvesham, Bhavatu Prana Sarvesham, Bhavatu Prana Sarvesham, Bhavatu Dharma Sarvesham, Bhavatu Dharma Sarvesham, Bhavatu Swarga Sarvesham, Bhavatu Swarga Sarvesham, Bhavatu Moksha Sarvesham, Bhavatu Moksha Sarvesham, Bhavatu Moksha Sarvesham, Bhavatu Moksha. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. We'll chant together. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 softly. Chant silently in silence. Sukhinaha sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet asato ma satgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat Om.
Well, that was very lovely. Thank you, dear Sky Guardian, for recommending that meditation. I found that incredibly relaxing. So much so that I didn't even have the compulsion to chant. Sorry about that. I just kind of fell into a state. I'm very grateful that we had a chance to do that together. Namaste. I guess we've come to the end of our Sangha today. And doing so, I thank you all for being here. Those who stayed, you should be very proud of yourself for having done so. And welcome those who joined while we were meditating. Thank you. Those who sent a gift whilst we were meditating. Dear Gina, 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 thank you for your trio of crystal rose, rose, rose. Ram Bhairavaya Namo Namah. Did I thank you, July Moonchild, for your subscription earlier? I thank you anyway. Better to thank you twice than not at all. Sadhyujatam prapadyami sadhyujataya vai namo namah. Bhave bhave nati bhave bhavaswamham bhavodbhavaya namah. Thank you, dear Michelle. Thank you, dear Rafi, for the heart and mustache. No, for the hat and mustache. Thank you. Vamadevaya namo jishtaya namo namah shrishtaya namo rudraya namah Namah Kalaya, Namah Kalavikarnaya, Namah Kala. Namo Balaya, Namo Balavikarnaya, Namo Balapramathanaya, Nama Sarva Bhuta Damanaya, Namo Manonmanaya, Namah. Dear Sazrar, thank you for your heart mate. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Reina Priyaji, thank you for your trio of crystal roses. Om Ishana Sarva Vidyanam Ishvar Sarva Bhutanam Brahmadipati Brahmanodhipatyar Brahma Shivo Me Astu Sa Eva Sada Shiva Om. Dear Farfala, thank you for your rose. Om Namah Karim Ambita Me Sharim Nadita Me Harim Devita Me Aing Sarasvatyai Swaha. And Majesty, thank you for your 10 team cheers. Om Kali Mahakali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvanandakari Devi Narayani Namostute. No, I didn't fall asleep, dear Sky Guardian G. But it was equally rejuvenating as deep sleep. Dear Luca, you're wondering, since I am full of followers, how am I not making sums of it? Sums of money? Oh, well, I never intend on making a single penny. I'll always be the first to remind you that your presence here is a gift enough. What more could I ask for than that? I have no intention on gaining followers or money or any other temporary statistic in life that goes up and down. I'm just happy to be here. May this live stream be an offering to the divinity within you. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to the light, from death to deathlessness. May there be peace in us, may there be peace in our environment, and may there be peace in the forces that act on us. If there's any way in which I can make this space more inclusive for you next time, or anyone, please let me know. This live stream is recorded and will be uploaded on my Yamsox Lives YouTube channel, along with the meditation and the readings that we do. They have their own playlists. And if there's anything I couldn't attend to during the live, my inbox is open on Telegram, WhatsApp, Instagram, email. And there's a Telegram and Discord server. It's all linked in the link tree in my bio. It's all for free. If you feel like joining any of those things, you're welcome to. Or taking advantage of any of those things. Oh man. Good night, dear Emmett. That's funny, dear Stevie G. Your cat is teaching you valuable lessons. Thank you, dear Dalitha, for your TGIF. Ham Jom Sa Om Bhur Bhuvaswa Om Tryambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukam Niva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiya Mamritat Om Swaha Bhuvaham Bhuh Om Saha Jom Ham Om. Good night, dear Evelise. Dear Luca, you are concerned about what to act on next to help family financially. Then you see kids making millions online, but you hang out with ascended masters here. Worry not about what happens next. Take care of the most pressing thing in this moment, and the next moment takes care of itself. The most valuable thing you have is this moment. In fact, it is priceless. Thank you, dear Gina, for your heart me, ice cream cone and rose. Om Kam Namah Prajapataye. Dearest Magdalene gives us all her love. Don't take that for granted. It's a very precious thing. Talking to the Sangis. Much love, dear Stevie G. May you all have a wonderful rest of your present moment. I'm going to go take care of my body now. May you take care of your bodies also. Namaste.